Okay, hi everyone. My name is Soshtavi and welcome back to my channel where I talk about books. And in this video particularly, I want to talk about a book that I read recently that I freaking loved, and I just have to get my feelings off my chest about it. So here we are. And the book that I'm talking about is One of Us is Back by Karen M. McManus. I hope I said that right. Yep. This is the third book in the One of Us is Lying trilogy. So the first book in this is One of Us is Lying, and then we have One of Us is Next, and then the last installment in it is One of Us is Back. I freaking adore this series. For those of you who don't know what the series is about, One of Us is Lying basically follows these four students. The premise of the first book is very like Breakfast Club vibes, but with like a murder mystery involved, sort of a thing. It gives a lot of a Good Girls Guide to Murder vibes, Breakfast Club vibes, a lot of like good like teen drama kind of vibes. So in One of Us is Lying, there's five people who are put together in detention. You have your typical nerd, your jock, your princess, your bad boy, all of these people together. And then by the end of the detention, one of those five people ends up dead. And then obviously the police start suspecting one of these four to be the killer. And then we go on from there. There's a whole investigation. The people involved themselves are like investigating who it could be. Is it really one of them? Is it someone else? And it's that mystery that follows. But while we're also investigating the mystery, it is a YA novel, it is a YA fiction novel. So there's a lot of like, there's a little bit of romance in there, and there's like a found family aspect that we're coming to towards the end of the series. We're exploring friendship, we're exploring family, so it has all those good things that you would like to find in a YA novel, but with like also the murder mystery element. And it's really good. It's really fun, it's thrilling, it's fast paced, you love the characters, you actually end up liking every single character and their arc. So I would highly recommend One of Us is Lying if you haven't read that. And then in the second book, we follow one of the main characters younger sibling and their friends, and a mystery that they get trapped in the same town and school. So we follow that happening, and then in this third book we follow all of them together, the people in the first book, the people in the second book, all together with one final mystery in this town and in their high school. It basically ties up the entire overarching series together, all the way from the very first mystery we had to this one, everything. I will eventually be diving into spoilers, but for now I just want to discuss the non-spoilery parts in case you haven't read the book. I love this book so much, and especially because it's a part of a trilogy, so by the time you end up on this book, you're already familiar with the characters, and the books are written so well that you actually end up liking every single character you're reading about. We jump from perspective of perspective in each book. In the first book we have four different characters and their perspectives. In the third book we have three characters and their perspectives, and in this book as well we follow the perspective of two people from the first book and one person from the second book. And it's just so much fun. You genuinely love them, you're interested in them, you're rooting for them. The found family aspect is so strong in this book because by this time the things that they've gone through, the things that they've handled, and the way they gel together, their relationships, romantic and platonic, are so strong and so lovable and so and also relatable for me personally. You end up really feeling invested in these characters, and then the mystery aspect of it is also pretty intriguing. It did kick in a little late in this book, but because you're already so attached to the characters and attached to this world that you don't mind. Like, I didn't find myself minding that, okay, when are we like gonna speed this up, because I was enjoying just being with them. So that's all I'll say for the non-spoiler part. I love it. I would highly recommend this series to you if you haven't read it. Truly go into it. Even if you don't enjoy murder mysteries, this one isn't very graphic and it's very YA, so it's not difficult to get into, and you also have a lot of other supporting themes along with the murder mystery. So I would highly honestly recommend this. I don't think you would be disappointed. It's a 5-star series for me. So yes, now I will be discussing the spoilers. So if you haven't read the book and you want to avoid the spoilers, please click away. And yeah, with that, let's get into it. You guys, this book had my heart. I was like so many things, so many things. I don't know where to start. Let's start with like first of all my favorite, Nate. Oh my god, the way I've fallen in love with Nate through the series. I never thought I would feel like, oh, this character is like a book boyfriend from a murder mystery novel. But Nate really feels like it, especially in this book, given how the first three books have progressed. The way Nate and Bronwyn's relationship has progressed and what it's come to now, it's so strong and it's so cute. And the way he thinks about her, oh my god, like you can just tell that he's a man written by a woman. And this is, he's so good. He's so good. They're so good. Every single time I was in his perspective, in his chapter, I was like, let me take my time because I'm enjoying this so much. And of course, I also really enjoyed Phoebe's and Addie's perspective, and I can so totally understand the struggle that Phoebe was going through with like everything that happened with Owen in the previous book. Because that little twist in the second book about Owen being the one who carried forward the conversation, which led to Brandon's death. Uh, that was something I did not see coming. I swear to God, when I tell you, for a half an hour straight after that book, I was like, what? Like I couldn't grasp it. Like that's like the book went there. It really went there. So I was really excited to see what would happen and how we would handle that in this book, and I think it's handled really, really well. There's this theme in this book that I'm so glad we've explored throughout all the books, and especially coming to a close of it in this one, is about like hurt people, and how the killers of today are like children of yesterday who've been traumatized by their childhood, and how do we put an end to that cycle. And it's explored in such a beautiful way, and I'm so glad we were able to draw those conclusions in this book. I really liked the mystery. I do feel like the game aspect wasn't really like we didn't really have much of like a game aspect in the book. But to be honest, I also don't mind, because truly my feelings for everything else was so strong. I'm okay to like brush it aside. um but apart from that, I really enjoyed it. I'm also just not just because Nate is my favorite. I think he is. I'm so glad for how his end turned out and everything, how things are resolving with his family, and now like further with his education with Bronwyn, the future that he has, that he can really hope for, that he deserves, honestly, after the struggle in all these books. I feel like we also really don't realize just how much Addie had to go through. Like, this shit is traumatic that she's had to go through with Jake. Truly, the thing she had to go through in the first book and then have to re experience and get deeper in that trauma in this book. I felt so bad for her, and like, she's so strong, dude. She's so strong. Coming to Jake, my god, that man has my blood boiling, but at the same time, I feel so much pity for him, because I get it. We get it why it happened the way it did, you know. But at the same time, there's no excuse for it either. And you just, I think in the end, like, you really get left with this complex feeling of like, it sucks, but he deserves it. And it's so sad that he deserves it, you know. The end that he got, the way he died, I think was perfect, because any other kind of end would have left you feeling really weird in your chest. Um, and this one did too, but you know what I mean. I don't know how to explain it. It was just really complex, and I love complexity like this when we explore this, and you know, you start to get into the murky shades of the deepest grays, and it's not just like black and white, like, oh, this is bad, kill him, this is good, save him, kind of a situation. And especially when you can see how you can see the past of that person, and how it like doesn't justify their present, but it explains it. um yeah, I love when we get to see that in murder mysteries. Oh my god, one thing I especially want to talk about in this book, because we don't get to see this often in other books, to be honest. We rarely get to see this in other books. Addie and Nate's friendship. Oh my god, their relationship is so beautiful, beautiful and platonic. Like, I loved that we got to see how close they are and the way they care for each other. You don't often get to see that, especially when the main character already has a girlfriend. People are really afraid to go there and show that like they can have normal, healthy, caring relationships with another, like with the opposite sex like that. Like a girl and a guy can be friends like that and can care for each other like that without things being viewed between them or without it inciting some other kind of feelings or other kind of plot line. I just really wanted to point that out because we don't see that often in books, and we definitely don't see it in YA books. So I was really glad that that's like a very subtle plot line in this book. Also, Simon. The fact that all of this was set in motion by past Simon, it really brings it all so full circle. Everything that happened in the first book and everything that happens in this third book, in this last book, is because of him. And it really, also, my heart was like really giving for like the things that Simon must have had to go through to become the kind of child that he was. The things that him and Jake witnessed and the things that he witnessed Jake do, and for him to not feel anything about it. He went through no emotion except, oh, this is leverage. This is how I'll use this information. Like, I can't imagine things a child has to go through to be able to come to that kind of a stage. It's scary and it's sad, and the thing is, it's reality. The way these kids turned out and what they became and the things they did, this is reality. It's actually how the world works, and it's just sad. Also, Chelsea and Gavin escaping. I think I'm okay with that end. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm constantly confused. Like, oh, they should be caught. But at the same time, like, it's the same thing, you know? Like, hurt people hurt people. These kids have been traumatized by the things they've had to go through, and that changes you. And unfortunately, sometimes it changes some kids for the bad. And that's what Chelsea is. And she's just another one of those kids. We see that with Jake, we see that with Simon, we see that with Owen, we see that with Chelsea, and uh, all of them end up having such different endings purely because of the influence around them, the people around them, and the conversations around them. And that is what makes a difference. That makes all the difference. Also, the way Chelsea killed him off, like, I was genuinely terrified of her. I was like, oh shit, this bitch is gone, like, oh my god. But it made for a great end. Just, yeah, I loved the end, to be honest. I loved everything. It left me satisfied in the end, regardless of all the complexity. It really left me satisfied, and that's what I enjoy. We got like a really cute end with all of them together in the last barbecue dinner. Oh, it was so sweet. um, I'm just happy for the characters. Like, it's such a weird feeling, right? Being happy for characters that don't fucking exist. But yeah, I enjoyed the story, basically, to run it off. Also, I just quickly want to mention how funny this book is. Like, it's so funny, and like, I don't know, like, I don't think we ever realized that like these books can actually have so much humor in them. Like, genuinely, all the yellow and green tabs that you cannot see right now because all the light is gone. I'm filming in front of my window and it's dark now. But all the yellow and green tabs are like for the moments I was genuinely smirking or chuckling out loud. Like, wow. Like, everything. The series has everything you need. It's perfect. In my opinion, it is. So yeah. Needless to say, I rated this a 5 out of 5 stars. It was such a good end to these characters and this place. But yes, as of now, loved it. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. It would mean a lot to me. And yeah, if you've read it, if you've enjoyed it, or if you look forward to reading it, please drop a comment and let's chat, because I would love to discuss the book. So yeah, with that, I will see you next time. Thank you.